All righty, big tubes, another one of Keeps Cleeps. So, Super Tuesday! It's not just an ordinary Tuesday yesterday, it was Super Tuesday! Trust the Yankee Doodle Dandies to come up with a title like that for a day of the week. But anyway, so let's go over onto the BBCs and see what they're saying. Well, firstly, look at the stupid look at the picture of Trump they've used. You know, it looks like a caricature there, man. Yeah, it's well funny. Let's see, can you see what I see? So, America Cast dissects Super Tuesday that all but confirms 2020 deja vu. I still think, and I've heard people, talking heads, commentators talk about it. The Democratic Party could ask Biden and try and persuade him to step down to let somebody else run. At the moment, he has to make that choice. They can't remove him, I don't think. It's been done in the past, but there are certain things you need to put forward to try and get him removed. So there is definitely talk within the Democratic apparatus over in the States to get rid of Biden and let somebody else run. They were talking about Nikki Haley, and I've got money on Michelle Obama. So, Americast. Yeah, my God, man, you sack your marketing person, that is crazy. Biden loses America Samoa by 11 votes. Trump projected to win Utah. Haley's dead cat downs and Trump's damaged goods. Trump projected to win Alaska. How to spot election-related AI fakes. Got to love this meme that they're pumping out there. From what I can tell, people are scared of Trump. That's obvious. Depending on which side of the argument you listen to, there's talk about the support from, even hate using this word, right, African Americans, or the Latino community. Fucking all segregated like motherfuckers over there, man. It's a shame. Apparently support for Trump is going through the roof. So I'm best guessing these kind of fakes are designed to hurt Trump. So is it people from the Trump campaign doing this? Or is it somebody else releasing them and go, look what Trump's doing, when it isn't him that's doing it? Does that make any sense? Fucking 4D chess going on here. Folks, look at the state of it, man. It's not even a good fake. So, my conspiracy theory, because you're still allowed them apparently, my conspiracy theory is that's been put out there to smear Trump. It's not been put out by Trump's propaganda machine to make him look good. It's been put out by the Biden's one to take point and go, look what Trump's doing, Mr. Black Man. You're so stupid you won't understand what we're saying. African American. Honestly, man, so segregated over there, it's fucking horrible. How do voters feel about 2020 rematch? Well, Capitol Hill will be interesting, so let's go and see what the Sky News is saying about it. And I have been correctly corrected. News Corp sold the Sky Group. Sky News falls under that bracket in 2018, and they sold it to Comcast. Comcast goes back to the Russian Jewish immigrants. Dude, fucking Rupert Randolph or something. And then he passed it down to his son, and he's still King Dong in that media empire. Is it MGM, Universal and all that comes underneath the umbrella of Comcast? So I was correctly corrected. So Sky News is now it's founded by Rupert Murdoch and News Corp, but it's now Comcast, which I had to familiarise myself with them today because I always assumed I heard Americans talking about Comcast. but never over here in the UK. But apparently, obviously, they now own Sky News. So let's see what Sky News and these poor women who think plastic surgery is the way forward. I mean, do they not understand the people that are telling them that you should go and get work is good, you should go and get hundreds of weird plastic surgery, are the people that probably get stocks and shares in fucking plastic surgery companies, man. Every time a woman fucks with her face, I can tell for 1,000 yards, because it just puts the geometry of the face out of sync, and you're like, what the fuck? I'm a fan of Celebrity Big Brother for my sins. Go and check Sharon Osbourne out, man. It's unsettling to watch her. Not only because she's like early dementia sitting in, but just her face. It's like a human kaleidoscope, man. Constantly. In fact, kaleidoscopes are geometric. Her face, isn't it? It's more like a monkey's painting.
A White House rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump now looks like a certainty. Last night's Super Tuesday primaries saw big wins for both candidates, although Nikki Haley's win in Vermont prevented the former president from having a clean sweep. Former President Trump enjoyed a strong night, winning in at least 13 states, while his Republican opponent, Nikki Haley, made do with a single win in Vermont. The results from the state of Utah is yet to be announced. Let's get more, should we? Mark Stone standing by for us in Washington. Trump very happy with himself.
Morning, Kay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't your usual Super Tuesday, but it was certainly a Super Tuesday for Donald Trump. You've got to go back to 1892 to find the last time that an American president, Biden in this case, saw himself fighting another former American president. A long way back, it was a Super Tuesday for Donald Trump. So many people have written him off. So many people can't understand what his enduring appeal is. Well, they are not talking to the right people across America who believe Donald Trump should return.
They can't figure out what Donald Trump's appeal is. Welcome to the internet, motherfuckers. This guy's soundbite fucking gold. He's in reality TV, came into fucking politics. Great fun to watch. And if you don't respect these institutions, because no matter what you do in them, nothing fucking changes for reals, then you just want shits and giggles with it.
And so the bandwagon rolls on. In the swing state of North Carolina,
Scottish guy, I keep telling you we rule the world, man. See if you educate the world, right? Which Glasgow particularly does, biggest campus in Europe, motherfucker. Then you rule the world. That's why we've got so many talking heads everywhere. Not only do we have our own media machines up here, which 99.9% of them are all Scottish, you can tell with the accent, apart from the fucking Scotland Today with that American guy down in fucking Westminster. We've got talking heads everywhere, man. This is the Sky News's Rupert Murdoch.
Super Tuesday didn't have them on the edge of their seats. Donald Trump's advance was no surprise, however significant.
Close the borders, fix the economy, give us back some law and order, some respect.
It doesn't represent what I would stand for. Not things I would stand for, no.
I did vote for him 8 years ago, but I really don't know that he is what we need in this country right now again.
American, probably copyright through the asshole.
Next week, in a speech last night, he presented as a presidential candidate, less combative.
I've been saying lately, success will bring unity to our country, and it happened before. We had the best economy our country's ever had.
In a statement, Nikki Haley said, in state after state, there remains a large block of Republican primary voters who are expressing deep concerns about Donald Trump. That is not the unity our party needs for success. And so the United States contemplates a presidential rematch.
It's hilarious, man. See everybody that shouts about democracy, democracy, democracy when they want to go and kill some Arabs in the sand. They're quite quick out the blocks to talk it down the second that people start getting democratically elected that they don't like. Donald Trump being one, George Galloway being another, Wilders over in the Netherlands, Le Pen, and that fucking Oban's guy over in Hungary. So when... Oh, and let's not forget about Yanukovych, who was democratically elected to be the Ukrainian president or prime minister. Don't quite know the technical aspect of that. But he was then removed by a coup. And you don't need to be Einstein to figure out who fermented and propagated that coup.
Match of the pensioners, both showing signs of age, with polls showing Democrat concerns over Joe Biden.
That age is a grandpa's age.
Not the future president's age?
No.
When you're bringing up one age, you've got to bring up both ages. So is it a concern? Yes. But it's also a concern that the other party is also of age.
I heard something, I think it was only last night or something, and it was somebody talking about Biden, Super Tuesday shit, and they were talking about how Biden's got arthritis or something, and that's why he walks funny. That's why he walks like fucking Mr. Magoo. Mr. Burns, actually. It's like Mr. Burns he walks like, man.
Were important last night to Donald Trump in terms of votes he got, but also those he didn't. It measures a resistance to Trump.
We educate the world. We rule the fucking world.
Voters. The very voters he'll need to carry with him if they're to carry him to the White House. James Matthews, Sky News in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Mark, it does look increasingly like complacency is going to be the biggest opponent for these two men. What's the president in the White House been saying?
Complacency?
Yeah, I mean, President Biden has not...
Complacency? What drivel is that? Have you looked at your average Trump cult member, man? Wow, they're fucking tuned to the moon on this guy, man. Look at what happened at the storming of the Capitol building or whatnot. That would have been 2020 when he lost to Biden. Look at how fucking ball deep in the cult. So complacency for Trump supporting members doesn't exist. There's definitely a section of people that just wouldn't vote for him, but Trump isn't the Republican Party. Trump is his own entity that's kind of stuck himself onto the Republicans, because in America it's the red car versus the blue car. The red car and the blue car had a race.
Been seen tonight, but he has released a statement, and I think it certainly reflects the fact that he clearly knows he's going to be fighting Donald Trump. It also, I think, is quite dark in his vision of what a Trump presidency might look like. He says tonight's results leave the American people with a clear choice. Are we going to keep moving forward, or will we allow Donald Trump to drag us backwards into the chaos and division and darkness that has defined his term in office? My message to the country is this: every generation of Americans will face a moment when it has to defend democracy, stand up for our personal freedom, stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. To every Democrat, Republican and Independent who believes in a free and fair America, this is our moment. This is our fight. Together, we will win. Pretty stark language there from the current president about the prospect of the former president returning to office. I think there are a few takeaways tonight. There was no massive moment, but a few takeaways. One, Nikki Haley, the
Did you just get an Indian or a Chinky?
only other Republican in the race. She's still standing. She believes that she can, that she should still stay in the race. Why? Well, good question, but I think it's certainly worth looking beneath the Trump victory. Look at the number of people on the Republican side who came out last night, dedicated primary voters, choosing not to vote for Donald Trump. There is a significant minority, yes, of people, Kay, who will not vote for Donald Trump this time.
A significant minority? Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense? I know I'm a big bit stupid, right? So there's a significant minority. Right. Surely the fact that there's a minority doesn't make them significant. Because they're the fucking minority. Is this guy fucking retarded? Am I stupid? Am I the fucking retard here that can't understand that shit? Or is it just drivel? They can't just say there's a minority that won't support him. They have to say significant minority.
Round. What will they do in November? Remember, exit polls suggest that 4 in 5 Haley voters will not vote for Donald Trump in the November election. If they don't turn out, then that tight race between Trump and Biden, that is very tight indeed. One other thing I want to point out, Kay, remember Michigan last week, a protest vote there against Biden for his handling of the Gaza crisis. 100,000 people turned out in Michigan last week, actively not to vote for Biden, to put a tick against no one. In Minnesota last night, quite a lot of people did the same. 20% of those that turned out in Minnesota chose.
Now, think about this. See, when I hold my own election, vote us, not them, come this general election here in the UK, every cunt, well, sorry, that's me staying in a bubble. A lot of people out there are very pissed off and just disillusioned with the political system. Full stop. So me standing there with my wee shoebox saying, vote us, not them, you're not voting for me, you're voting for us, but you're displaying your discontent, you're withdrawing your consent from this political shit show that we're offered up as democracy.
A protest vote.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to get some turnout, I reckon.
Precisely because of Biden's handling of Gaza. Watch that one too.
Absolutely. Thanks for staying up for us, Mark. Thanks a lot. Gaza, top of the shop for you today.
Certainly is. The situation.
There we go. Now on to Gaza. Cheer you up. So, Sky News and the other press have a freaking meltdown or problem trying to frame and word what's happening over in America, man. Donald Trump seems to have the popular support. The last polls I heard, Donald Trump would beat Biden. And the way they spun that is, they said the current polls put Donald Trump, I think it was 2 points ahead of Biden, which is reflected in the bookies. Bookies very rarely get it wrong, or at least no too far off the button. So who's going to win? The Republicans, the bookies have, ahead of the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump is ahead of everybody else. Oh, you can't see that, but Donald Trump is ahead of everybody else. He's at 2s. Biden's at 3s, and Michelle Obama's at 9s, and I think I got her at 15s or something. So they're having a problem spinning this shit, and I heard talking heads. I think it was in Times Radio. It might have been Times Radio. I can't remember, but I heard talking heads talking about it last night, and they said Donald Trump is 2 points ahead of Biden. But Biden's a point ahead of Donald Trump if he gets fucking charged or something with one of the crimes, one of the many crimes that apparently he's going through, all the courts and all that. So they couldn't even, and then they turned around and go, remember, polls are just what were they saying, a point in time, just a time capsule. They change, and they can change dramatically. Now, depending on what news outlet you're hearing or listening to, depends whether they'll even suggest that to you, because people who love Trump, the pro-Trump organisations out there, will just leave it at Trump's ahead of the polls, leave it there. But the pro-Biden one will be like, Trump's ahead of the polls, but if Donald Trump's leg falls off and he gets caught masturbating in a public toilet with a belt around his neck, then Biden's a point ahead of him. Fucking hilarious. The press right now, man, the press have lost the ability to control the narratives as much as they have done in the past, with just the explosion and the continuation of the explosion of the cult-like forums out there on the social medias, where people can just fall into a bubble and all you hear is good things about one side and bad things about the other, and vice versa. And everybody's so polarised and mobilised, discontented with the whole political system. Freaking hilarious to watch the whole press struggle to create new narratives. The democratic election of George Galloway is a threat on our democracy. What? Yes, there's a significant minority. What? Hilarious, man. Just listen to the drivel that they're having to try and spin with their magic wordsmanship. Anyway, get it, got it, good. keeping it. Oh, PMQs today, man. The first post-George Galloway victory PMQs. I'm going to stream it live, man. Should be funny. Whether they'll just try and not draw any attention to him, which I suspect, it'll be funny to see if anybody does bring anything up about George Galloway being a threat to our democracy. Get it? Got it? Good. Cat cheese, no cats or cheese were harmed in this filming. Maybe only the political institutions of the world. Clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell.